What's up, YouTube? Just wanted to make another quick little video here. I did a couple other things to the bike. My other bike video doesn't have too many views, so I don't know that this is a popular thing on my channel, but anyhow, I figured I did it, so I might as well. I installed a lowering kit for the rear of the bike. I don't know how well I showed the rear of the bike in the last video, but I mean, you can see that it's pretty low. I could go further, but I figured with me and my girl on the back, you know, it squats a little bit when I sit on it, and I don't want it to rub my fender, so I left it up a little bit. But I do think it probably came down between an inch and a half from factory height. It was just goofy looking before. Now it looks pretty good. Which was super easy, by the way. I mean, as long as you know someone with a shop press or have one, lowering kit for this bike is anywhere from like 25 to like 75 bucks. Just depends on the brand that you buy. But you just have to pull. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see anything. There's two shocks down here. There's two bolts on this side and just two nuts on this side, and they drop out. And you just order the longer bolt is all it is, and you have to compress the shock. But yeah, as long as you know someone with a press to compress the shock and put the new bolts in, throw them back in, and then you can adjust it. Pretty much all those kits are adjustable from about factory height to like 2 inches lowered. But yeah, I'm super pleased with the way that it came out. The other thing that I did is this custom plate relocation back here. I put it on the rear fender. This bike factory has a bracket right here that has a reflector, just a red reflector on it. Looks kind of dumb. And I really hated where the factory license plate was mounted. This is the bracket for it right here, and it was sandwiched in between the rear fender mount and that turn signal right there, and it just kind of hung down here off the side, and I just didn't really care for the way that it looked. It just looked goofy. It just hung way off the side, kind of like a wing, and I wasn't a huge fan. So what I did is I peeled off that reflector on the back and used the bracket that was there and drilled a couple of holes in it. And I got this plate and I drilled a couple of holes for the plate to mount to, and then 2 holes to, you can see the wing nuts there, that the holes that go through that bracket, and now it's nice and uptight to the fender and center, and it just looks symmetrical and just so much cleaner. Looks way better. Overall, super pleased with how that came out. Obviously, when I cut off the factory bracket, I lost my light, so that's where I bought this Custom Dynamics license plate frame. Unlike their turn signals, the license plate frame is only like 35 bucks, so very reasonably priced. And it has an LED in it. Turn the light on here. It has an LED in it, so it lights up the plate. And I kind of like that it's not a super bright light. It kind of like puts a little bit of a shadow effect on the plate, which I think is super cool looking. So yeah, overall super happy with how that came out. That was a little bit, excuse me, a little bit bigger of a job than I intended it to be. I thought it would be pretty easy, but I was wrong. So when you remove this license plate bracket from here, which first of all, you can't just like take it off. You have to take the entire rear fender off. So you gotta take the seat off, take off these bolts here that hold this bracket on, and then unplug the wiring, and you can lift that whole fender off, and then you can flip the fender over, and there's bolts on the inside to take those brackets off of either side. And the wiring for the tail lights and the license plate light run through those brackets. So I had to cut the wires to the brackets, or to the lights, I'm sorry, and then resolder them back together, because you have to order, you can do either or. This side has a longer bracket from factory to compensate for the shorter bracket and the license plate bracket in here. So what I did is, instead of ordering the longer one to match this side for this side, I just ordered the short one that was already on this side for this side. And they're interchangeable, so you can just do either or. So then the tail lights are just a little bit tighter to the fender rather than sticking out a little bit further. I do believe, yeah, he has the wider ones on his, so you can see that is significantly further out on his tail lights, opposed to mine are much tighter to the fender, which is kind of neat too. I thought it would be a little different, so I like that quite a bit. I can't take full credit for this bracket here. The guys who kind of built my buddy's bike here did a very similar thing. They have the same license plate frame. His hangs a little bit lower down from the fender, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like how mine's tucked really tight up to the fender. Not hating on his work, but I definitely stole his idea, so props to him. I do believe it was PM Performance out of Kewanee, Illinois, that did his bike. They did pretty much all the work to his bike, which is super nice, but I liked the idea. So I just kind of did my own thing with it, but definitely looks a lot cooler and just a lot cleaner overall than the factory bracket. The other thing I did, oops, turn these lights on here. I know I've showed the halo turn signals, which you cannot see. I was outside earlier and it shows them up really good, but here in the dark, I did the knockoff Daymaker, the Amazon Daymaker. The color looks a lot different in the video. It is not that noticeable, the color difference to the naked eye, but I will say in the video it kind of looks more yellow than the turn signals. That's really not the case though, seeing it in person. But yeah, that I couldn't justify it. This bike right here, I don't remember if that one's a true Daymaker or not. It might not be, but I know for a fact his is, and that's insane. It's like a $300 or $400 headlight or something crazy like that, and this one's $40. And just for the heck of it too, I parked both of these bikes side by side and pointed them right at the garage door with the lights off, and the beam was identical. There wasn't one that was brighter than the other one. There wasn't one that was any more clear or crisp or anything like that. They were identical in every way. So like, why would you pay that much money? That's insane. $40, man. $40. I'm all about a deal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll spend the money on, things when I really need it. But I was figuring it would be a little bit, worse, but it's not. It was just as good. And for $40, and like I said, I think in my other video, I don't ride that often at night. But I did. I took it out at one night, I think a couple weeks ago, just to see the difference. And it's super bright at night. It's plenty to light up the road, I'll say that. Especially when you flip the bright light on. But yeah, I just wanted to make a little video. The lowering kit definitely looks a lot better. I'm super pleased with how that came out. And is for no harder than it was to install. I don't know why more people don't do that, because these things are just way too tall, which I mean most Harleys are from the factory anyway, but for like $40-50 for a lowering kit, as long as you know someone with a press, I mean super easy. You can do it yourself. You can pull them, as long as you have something to support the bike. I mean obviously you want the bike supported up in the center before you go and pull your shocks out, because the frame probably just dropped to the ground. But yeah, I mean, super easy. Love how it turned out though, and this license plate bracket is probably my favorite. I just think that's just so much better. I don't know why they're not back there from the factory. It just looks so much better. But anyway, I hope anyone who cares enjoys this. But hopefully we'll be maybe back to some truck videos soon. I don't know how much more I really want to do to my truck, but I've got a few things planned. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll catch you guys in the next one.